I guess we'll start with the scrimmage today. Obviously, it's kind of the last scrimmage before the spring game. Thoughts on what you saw today?
We had the best positive we had. I felt like we had a lot of guys, different people make some big plays, whether it be a first down conversion, a long play, a touchdown, whatever it may be. You know, running backs, some of the tight ends, receivers, quarterbacks made a couple plays with their legs, which was good to see. So that was one of the biggest takeaways I kind of felt from the day is we kind of had some playmakers emerge, and that's what you got to have.
I heard from Antonio on Monday that Tink had been working with the first team, some and looking good. What have you seen from him this spring?
From Tink?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tink's kind of come on really this back half of our spring. I felt like he's kind of settled in and gained a little confidence, and you know, he's definitely shown up in some of our scrimmage, last two for sure. You know, so he's one of those guys that's kind of a unique weapon.
What has Bryant Wesco added to the wide receiver room and the offense as a whole?
Yeah, Bryant's done a nice job. I mean, anytime as a freshman, the whole thing is just can you handle mentally, and then just the grind, the speed of the game, transitioning at his position at receiver, and once you transition to the college speed. You know, he's been able to mentally handle things, and I think he's a guy that's transitioned really well with the speed of the game. You know, he's a kid that just doesn't, you know, the moment's not too big for him. You know, he just kind of feels like that type of player to me. So I've been very pleased with this start.
What were you looking for today, and did some of those things you were looking for get accomplished out there?
Yeah, we kind of mixed up, you know, who was going against who today, and kind of mixed and matched a little bit more in this scrimmage. So you kind of put some guys in some advantageous situations or not advantageous. So I felt like really every group there was some growth. You know, some of our truly young guys emerged. You know, Keith Adams had a big day today, and didn't play Phil Maffa as much today. Kind of held him a little bit. So Keith kind of had a huge opportunity for himself, and he capitalized. He had a huge day for us.
And the quarterbacks?
Quarterbacks, yeah. Cade had a really nice day. He was consistent. Really sparked the whole day with the play he made with his feet, and he found Wesco for a pretty nice one, a big play, and that just kind of sparked the whole day. So I was happy with Cade and how he kind of bounced back from last scrimmage. CV's doing a lot of really good things. I mean, he's improving. He's getting reps. You can tell he's becoming more confident every single day, but he kind of had a bad play, and the great thing you see in these scrimmages, he had a bad play today, and then he bounced back and had a great play after that. So that's always a good sign that you see from a quarterback.
Has he been able to push Cade at all, or is it just merely a thing of Cade's getting better and CV's getting better?
No, I mean, there's competition there. That's what's good. I mean, you get a guy that's gonna put the ball in play, and I don't care what team, if it's ones, twos, threes, whoever, and whatever group he's in, if he's leading and we're driving the ball and scoring and creating touchdowns, like that's just gonna naturally kind of create that competition. So that's just kind of what we're seeing right now.
Where has this offense made the most strides this spring?
I think just our maturity level. I mean, overall, I mean, that's kind of what I expected coming off last season. Second year, the same offense. You got a quarterback that's played. You got O-line that's coming back, that's played a lot of snaps together. You know, just felt like kind of our maturity just overall would emerge. And I think we've seen that. I think we're starting to see that. You know, and I think collectively up front, we've done some really good things. You know, whether it's pass protection or some of the run game. Like I've seen a lot of growth in that room.
With the wide receivers, now you got a couple practices left. Are you where you wanted to be with that group, and being that this year you've had more of them than you've had last year at this time?
Yeah, no question. You know, we got some guys that are a little dinged up or whatever right now, but you know, overall we're just so much further ahead. You know, just knowing what to do and how to do it. We've got a nice group of guys in there, like I said, that are starting to create some plays for themselves, some of these one-on-one situations, and they just got to make a play, and we're making some of those. So I like where we're at with that group right now for sure.
Now that you've had some healthier guys and there's consistency up front, is this going to look a little bit more like you want your offense to look than maybe at times last year because of injuries and different things happening?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's always going to be derived off of what personnel we have and what those guys can do. But I think, again, the biggest thing I'm seeing right now is just we got an older group. We got an older group that's played year 2 of the same offense, and guys are just really have belief in one another. Not belief necessarily in the system. I'm not really talking about that, but belief in one another that guys are going to make plays. That's what I'm starting to see right now.
What's the competition been like at center, and what guys are really standing out, taking over that role?
Yeah, it's been a good competition for us. I mean, obviously, big shoes to fill with Putnam, a guy that's had 1 million snaps. I mean, he's probably older than I am, But Trent and Ryan Linthicum and Harris Sewell, I mean, all 3 of those guys getting rotated pretty good, and I like that competition right there. Those guys have definitely improved through 13 practices. So.
You mentioned Keith Adams. Has anybody kind of separated themselves at that number 2 running back spot? Is it Keith and maybe everybody else, or?
Yeah, Keith definitely made a nice push today. There's no question about it. And then Jarvis Green made some really good plays as well. They had a couple really big plays. I think 1 pass, 2 runs, and then did some nice stuff down there at the goal line. So, Jarvis Green is a guy that's done some really good things for us here as of late.
You moved D'Antonio to the outside, and obviously everybody's going to play different spots. But how has he kind of attacked that change?
Yeah, he's had a great spring. He really has. I mean, he's been consistent. I mean, we all know he's a playmaker, and he's one of those guys we're going to bank on to make plays. But he's a guy that's versatile. You can move him around, but he's a smart football player, But the biggest thing for him is just challenging him to kind of take the next step as a leader, as a guy that he can really put his arm around the rest of the receiving core, and a guy that's going to practice consistently like he's done that this spring. So I've been pleased with him.
Have there been any exciting surprises that you weren't necessarily expecting to see this spring?
One of the younger guys from last year that I think's made a huge jump is Marcus Dixon, tight end. He's a guy coming from his high school and getting here. It was all sort of new to him, and just the transition of the speed of the game. But I've been really, really pleased with his growth, in the last 6 months, call it. But he's a guy that has stood out for sure in terms of a big jump.